beautiful, beautiful. This was Love Story. The music was written by a French composer, Francis Albert Lai, and published in 1970. Hello, members and fans, and all. Welcome to NAMBA Seattle. Today it's about our diversity inclusion program in arts and culture. My name is Sylvia Fine. I'm the president of NAMBA Seattle. My co-host today is Kendall Caudry, our professional development director. Please say hi.
Hello.
Hello. And another co-host is our marketing director, Lynette Garcia.
Hello.
Hi, Lynette. So I'm extremely excited today to have you all joining us. Today's talk is with Fei Chua. I've known him since 2014, so roughly 6-7 years ago. He's an awesome friend and talented in many, many areas. Fei graduated from Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering and has been with Microsoft 20 plus years, but his avocation has always been music. So Fei, hello.
Hey everyone.
Hi
Good to
Fei.
be here.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How's staying home treating you?
A little bit tiring, but I just had my birthday yesterday, so I'm pretty happy today.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday.
Hey. Good
Thanks.
call. So
Good timing, huh?
More and the audience, a little bit more about yourself and how you got involved with music.
Sure. So a little bit about myself and about music. My background, I was actually born in Malaysia, so I'm a Malaysian-born Chinese American. If you ask for my full where I'm from, I would say Malaysian-born Chinese American. After high school, I left Malaysia to go to Canada for school. So I was in Canada for a year and a half. I did my grade 13 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and then I went to University of Manitoba. But after 1 year, Canada is extremely cold, right? So I thought it would be a good idea to go elsewhere, and I went to Boston. I went to MIT. I was there for 4 years, and after 3 years, and then 4.5 years, I was working for Cadence Design Systems as a software engineer. And in 1999, I came over to Seattle, sort of by accident, because some recruiter found my name, and I ended up working here, and I've been here 21 years since. So that's kind of my background. So being born in Malaysia, I've experienced a pretty diverse group of a very diverse group of people in Malaysia, because Malaysia is made out of essentially Malays, Chinese, Indians, and the rest of the people, right? So it's a pretty kind of a mixed group, and it's kind of similar to the United States where we are today as well, right? There's some challenges, there are some lots of benefits. So I'm glad that I'm here now. And regarding music, I just love music. I'm in fact glad that I'm not doing music for work. And I'm able to enjoy it. So it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of music friends. It just gives me an opportunity to really reach out to a lot of people out there, right? That typically wouldn't be be around with. If you think about work, we're all technical people around here. Like if I don't do music, I'll probably be kind of stuck with a quote unquote non-diverse group of people, right? So I'm really glad that music gives me the opportunity to really reach out and branch out.
So how long you been playing piano?
So it's kind of a shame that I actually didn't do piano officially. I have been playing since I was in elementary school. I took piano lessons twice, but I quit both times. Fortunately, both my sister, they were pretty persistent. They actually did school music. So I had two sisters that they actually study music formally. I just love to play around. So I played since elementary school. In fact, I'm not really that great at it. I just love playing it and making noise. My daughter sometimes like kind of, you know, she's not quite happy because I just make noise instead of like really playing the real pieces. So yeah, I've been playing piano since elementary school just for fun. And in high school, I then actually picked up the trumpet because I figure uh, trumpet only requires you to use three fingers, right? Three valves.
Yes.
It's much easier from that perspective, right? Than the piano. So I picked up the trumpet when I was in the high school band. And when after that, when I was working, I realized that like trumpet is really a pretty hard instrument to keep up with because you like if you don't play for 2 months, right? Like even a month, right? Your muscles are gone, right? So essentially, I then picked up the saxophone. I bought a soprano sax to start because it's an instrument that Kenny G plays. If you are my age, you probably listen to Kenny G a lot. So I figured that would be a good instrument to kind of start with, and to actually move away, from, right. If I would not play the trumpet, what would I play? I picked up the soprano sax, and then later I actually then picked up the alto sax as well. So I guess you can see kind of the diversity in me, right? I'm a person who loves to just continue to learn and do different things. I try not to do things once, even when I'm driving out. Like if I've gone through path one, I probably won't go through path one again, even though it's the shortest route. I'll take another path. So that's just me. Always love to learn. So that's kind of my diverse path through music, picking up lots of different instruments.
So I understand you play piano, you play trumpet, you play alto saxophone, you play soprano saxophone. What other? I think you play more than just those four, right?
Yeah, like I said, my goal is not to be the expert. If I can get to kind of like an low intermediate in all the instruments, I would do it. So I'll play everything. Like I sometimes I play the drums, I play the guitar. Actually, I have an interesting story about the drums. When the Seattle Experience Music project first got started, I actually joined as a yearly member. And you know why? Because I believe on a Wednesday or Thursday, right? I go there every week because they have drums there, and they have these machines that basically would teach you how to do drums, right? So I would I would go there every single week on a weekday. Again, I can't remember, it's like Wednesday or Thursday or whatnot. I'll go, I would queue up, play the drum, like lesson one, lesson two, like if people queue up, outside, I'll let them play, and then I'll get back in the queue, and just kind of picked up my drums from there, right? So I didn't really have a teacher. I just kind of just go do it, So yeah, again, right? I just tend to just pick up whatever I feel like. I play the guitar a little bit too, but I think guitar is probably my worst instrument.
Well, don't be humble because I know you are also involved with band.
Yeah, I when I was in Boston, I was involved in a few bands. There was a Chinese band. There was actually a Vietnamese band. It's quite interesting when I was in the Vietnamese band because again, right, like you think about a diverse group, right? I don't speak Vietnamese, but I look like Vietnamese. So people would come out to me and ask me to play certain songs. Like I would be like, sorry, I can't speak. So that was kind of my life in Boston. It was kind of fun. And when I came over, I started with one Chinese band. So we play every Christmas for I think the Lions Club in Bellevue every Christmas. That was pretty fun too. That group was kind of old. But I love those songs that they play because they just kind of like in some of the old music that they play, right? Really kind of fits my taste. It was what I kind of grew up with my mom and dad, right? So and then after that, I joined the Microsoft Chime band. Chime is a group at Microsoft. Basically stands for Chinese CHI and Chinese Microsoft employees. So we have a Chime band that was formed many years ago, probably like 2000 something, maybe 2001. So it has been there for a long time. It used to be all Microsoft people. Guess what? Now that Seattle is a very diverse tech hub, we have Facebook, Google, Amazon, and whatnot, like people from all the companies now, right? So what happened was that like these folks from Microsoft, essentially a lot of us actually ended up working for Facebook, Amazon, and I think there was a person at Baidu. So if you look at Chime today, we're actually a pretty diverse group based on of different companies. So it's, again, right, it's quite fun. I've been with quite a lot of different bands.
Wow, that's amazing. So music is really a big part of your life. We can say, right?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. Like again, so music is a big part of in my I guess in my family. My dad and mom loves music. I play music with my sisters, and I play with my kids as well. In fact, I think at some point, I guess we're gonna play a stitched together music of me playing different the same song, the Moscow Night, with my sister in my original family, and then with my kids in my family today with different instruments, with 3 different instruments. So and you will see kind of the growth, right, from the old days to when my kids would, in the video you'll see my kids running around making noise, and like they were really cute back then. And then as they get older, they are finally able to play music with me. So you see that progression, which is really fun. But that's why I love music. Like music is so diverse that there is no boundary, right? Like your sexual orientation, your culture, your everything, it doesn't really matter. And in fact, the way I picked up this particular piece of music was a friend of my dad. He gave me that sheet music. And at the time, there was no YouTube, whatnot, right? I have no idea what this piece of music was about, right? But guess what? Music is universal. You put it on the piano and you just play, right? So I ended up playing a different style of that piece of music because we didn't know better with my sister. So you see that as well. Like we started out playing that piece of music slow. That was how we used to do it. And then eventually, like with I found out that there was YouTube, and then I realized that we were actually playing it quote unquote wrong. But again, right, it's an experiment. Music just kind of gives me a lot of opportunity to explore and to share my experience with a lot of people.
Well, I have the video ready, so let's play it.
Let's do that.
Okay, hang on a second. So next one, we're gonna play Midnight in Moscow.
So you see me playing with my sister first, and then next with my daughter, and my son was actually holding the camera, shaking around, and the last one is with my daughter as well.
Woohoo!
Hopefully you guys like it. As you can see, you can see the progression. I think the quality of video wasn't great, but it's all home videos, and you can see the kind of the authenticity in it, right? Like everything is messy. There was no double take because you know how kids are like, right? They never want to play really with the dad, right? Like they want to play with other people. So there's only single take, so there were mistakes in there, but it's just all fun. You can see like throughout the last whatever 20 some years, right? One piece of music really stitched my family together. Not just my family, but really that person who gave me that piece of music was still in touch, right? Even though he was a friend of my dad that I actually, you know what, I had never really talked too much, except that maybe the 2 hours that we were kind of together and we chatted. And he said, he said, you know, he should send me two pieces of music, right? And he did. And then that, like really like that one piece of that music really stitched everything up, like kind of my life together with my family as well. You know, two of my families, right? My extended family and my family today. So that's why I feel like, you know, music is really like a again, right, a universal language that just ties everything together, every people, everyone.
Yeah, well, through the video, I see your daughter. The first take was she was roughly around 4, and then 13, then 17. How old is she now?
She's 18 now. She's going to go to UW at some point in September.
Wow, congratulations to you and yeah, your daughter.
Yeah.
Is she planning to study music?
I think she will. She might do some other things too, but she'll probably do music. That's what she loves
Awesome.
to.
I'm looking
We'll
forward.
see.
I believe my co-host Kendall, she has some more questions for you. Kendall, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
All
Okay.
right, you know
Yeah.
how things going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty okay. Have been under lockdown for how long so far,
I
right?
know.
Since March 2nd, I think. So, but fortunately, we can go to restaurants now. So, not
Yeah,
too
I know. It's nice that things are starting to open up a little bit.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I know, you know, in the beginning, right, you had mentioned a huge amount of your experience and stuff being in Malaysia, and then moving right to Canada, then finally the United States, right? And so a lot of experience around diversity, and also in inclusion. And of course, within NAMBA, this is the area that you run for the organization. And so my question to you is around what has been your experience with diversity and inclusion within the arts?
Okay, got it. Before we start, I kind of want to point out because we are in this number organization, I want to really like kind of give Sylvia a praise because the way we organize things is that even though this is supposed to be a women's group, but we actually have board members, multiple board members who are actually male, which I think is actually extremely important. When you have a group of people that you're trying to kind of like have a voice for example, like say a colored group of folks, I think it's really important to have the other group of people, right, that actually would be becoming advocates. So you might, you know, for example, like you might want to invite, for example, like say there was a group within Microsoft called BAM. I think it stands for Blacks at Microsoft. Like for example, that particular group, they probably want to have an executive sponsor. who is a white person, right? Because then it brings not just the black people together, but the African Americans, they can essentially then reach out, right, with the group that is different than them, to give them advice and whatnot. So I think Sylvia and our group here is doing really well. We are able to diversify even within our board, right? So with that, my comment about art and music, and how that world is different than, I guess, my world, I would say, and this is again I think my own opinion, right? Because I'm not in the art or music world, I don't really know. But my perception is that that world, the art and music and painting and whatnot, the world is pretty diverse. Essentially, the barrier entry is lower, so anyone who is talented can essentially just get in, right? So I think in a sense is a lot more diverse than say the tech world. But I would say that the tech world is also doing quite well, right? All the tech companies, they have great policies, they have great support, executive sponsorship, and all that to make sure that the companies are actually as diverse as they can be. So with kind of a top-down approach, I think the tech world is doing better. But the music and the arts world, I think, start out with that. However, they are also still, right, things that I think should be and can be tweaked, because there's still some kind of a discrimination that's based on age, based on your sexual orientation, based on pay, like based on like culture boundary or whatnot, right? For example, like women's might still be paid, I think, in almost universally in most fields, if not all, lower than their male counterpart. So that's something that I believe happens in most areas. And also representation, right? I think representation is a big struggle as well, especially in the tech world. Sometimes it's very male dominated. It is sometimes very type A dominated, but probably we're still doing better than say the Wall Streets or whatnot, right? It's a little bit diverse in the tech, more diverse in the tech world, I think, than say the Wall Street. But arts and music, it's probably better. One example I thought I might bring up, which is I think is really important, like that we can learn from the music world. I heard this a while back, so I'm not sure if it's still a practice, and it could be, in fact, a very common practice now, which is that when an orchestra is trying to hire someone, right, into the, say, a symphony orchestra, what they do is in the past they will interview the person, right, like in person, right? Say I'm a trumpeter, I put the trumpet in front of like whatever a panel group of like six judges and whatnot. What they found out was that because of
internet died. Yeah, my internet died. Oops. Hello. I think our internet's kind of got fade disconnected. Just hang on a second.
All right, hopefully I'm back.
Oh, hi, you're back. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I know my network cuts out once every 2 or 3 days, so we're just lucky to catch that. So I was going to say that in the interview process, because of the perception that guys are stronger, they're better playing the trumpet, but the music guys are like, you know what, maybe this is what we should do. So this is what they end up doing. They put a screen in front of the person being interviewed. In fact, the person can't talk. He or she can only play the piece that he or she was interviewed for. And what turns out to be, to the panel's surprise, is that the female versus male like personality doesn't really show up in music. Essentially, what I'm saying is that female trumpeters can be as strong and as forceful as their male counterpart.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hi, Faye. Are you still there? Hello?
Like he froze again.
I can see him. While we're waiting for Faye to come back, I'm gonna play his piano. Well, in fact, the trumpet music performance by Faye. So hang on a second. Hello? Do we have Faye here? Not yet? Okay, and do we have Faye? Are you back?
All right, I'm back. I'm not sure what happened.
I think your area, because we're here.
Cool. Yeah, it's probably just my network. Yeah. So I guess I'll just wrap up. I think I think the music, how people get interviewed into orchestras is a great practice, and also how the tech world is basically, at least from my perspective, I say from Microsoft, having great policies to hire a diverse group of people from the, essentially pushing it from top down, right? Really is helping the world be more diverse and really be more receptive of the other cultures.
So I do have a video that's from you. It's a trumpet music performance. Should we play this one first before we jump into next question? Are we?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea just in case I get cut out again. We'll see. Yeah, let's play that. Is a piece that actually I kind of spliced together. That I play at random occasion when I'm stuck at home to different period during this, the pandemic season in the last 3 or 4 months, right? So essentially, I think if you look at what happened in the world since March, from time to time, people would kind of play music from their balcony. So I sort of picked it up from different locations. So you see that.
Awesome. So let me play. one last question. Lynette, do you have anything?
I think Lynette is muted.
No, I'm here.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I was
right.
enjoying your music is so inspiring. So we want to see to ask you, what is the final thought that you can see that the music has changed your life?
I think the main thing really is it opens up a path for me to be, for the lack of a different word, like more diverse. Because if I just look at myself, I'm a technical person. I'm always thinking logically, like trying to optimize for everything. But music is a different way of thinking, right? It's about art, it's about enjoyment, it's about just throwing all the logic away in a way, right? There's logic in music too, but the key thing about music is just you're trying to enjoy it, right? So I think you really kind of bring out the I wouldn't say bring out the human side of me, but it allows me to be more human and to allow me to be connected with people that I usually don't connect with. So just give you an example, right? You just look at the band, right? My current band allows me to connect with people from different companies, and my previous bands allow me to connect with people from different society. Like I still remember, like the first band that I joined here, there was a person in newspaper, and there was actually a person in music. And there was a person who was I think he was working for Boeing. So this is all kinds of people in our lives that in different circles, right? We would never ever meet if we don't do something other than what we typically do. Like you just get stuck with, say, your family and work, you never get out, right? So I'll give you another example, right? So if you were to just play baseball and football, like American baseball and football, right? And you never play soccer, guess what? You'll probably never ever meet some group of people that's like a little bit different than you.
That's right.
And I think for us, again, right, this is kind of learning from my music experience, right? It's not a big thing in my life, but it just allows me to branch out. So I would say for people who are trying to understand diversity, I think the main thing that is the important thing to do really is to try different things, go into different world, right? Try things that you don't do in the past. That way you pick something out. I'll use another example, right? Say if you use your right hand to say do chopsticks all the time, right? Or if you maybe you don't even do chopsticks, right? Try to pick up chopstick with your right hand. And if you do, use your left hand to do chopsticks as well, right? It's going to be really hard, but guess what? It's a different experience. Then that way you understand what diversity really means, and also what inclusion really means, right? I think there was one lecture I think we went to with Sylvia, and I think it was with our group, that someone defined diversity versus inclusion. I think it's kind of an important thing to bring it up. Diversity is, like, you can think of it as you are invited to a party, right? So you can invite a lot of people to the party. Say you hire a lot of people into a company, right? It's almost like inviting that person to the party. But after the diversity, what do you do next, right? It's actually inclusion, right? So what is inclusion? Inclusion is allowing that person to dance. And in fact, I would say it's probably even more than that, because like you can't just invite someone and then expect them to dance sometimes, right? Because like if that person is able to dance, yeah, that's great, right? Everyone is dancing, right? You want to allow them to dance too. That's inclusion. But the next step about inclusion is actually probably giving that person a chance to learn to dance before he comes to the party, right? Otherwise, like you invite a whole bunch of people, they're just not able to contribute, right? So you use that example in the real world, in orchestra, in the tech world or whatnot, right? We need, for example, in the tech world, we need to be able to train more folks from different part of the society, people of different ethnicity, people from all walks of life, in fact, right? To be able to contribute. That way, your workforce become a lot more diverse. So you have to think 2 steps ahead, right? You can't just go like, oh, I'm gonna hire a whole bunch of this kind of people now because I need this kind of mix. when you think one step at a time, trying to hire someone from that particular group, guess what? It might be too late because you don't have that essentially like the group of people for you to hire, right? So again, right, I think being in music, in tech, and in all different kind of trying to put my tentacles into different world, right? I'm able to see things that I think maybe some folks are not able to see, and I'm hoping that eventually, like this world, given the challenges that we are facing today, right, with America's where we are today, that our world can be a lot more inclusive and diverse moving forward.
Excellent, Faye. It's just amazing the example that you did. Like, if doesn't know how to dance, just invite them first so he can just or she can knows what it is and later just teach how to. And your chopsticks to change hands, I love it. Really, really nice. Thank you, Faye, for just delight us with this music that you're so talented to. I'm going to pass some information for the next event that we have. Let me share the screen. Yes, do you see me?
Yep.
Perfect. So our next meaningful conversations at NAMBA Seattle, we will be with Tammy Lyon. She's a fractional CEO of How to Manage a Small Law Firm, and it will be about our past webinar, the most effective communication strategies for a virtual workplace. So pin that in your calendar, Tuesday, July 14th, in 7 days at the same time, 4 o'clock. Will be just Zooming, Facebook, and later it will be at YouTube. So we're going to be learning more about all the strategies that she just gave us last webinar. Also, we have more events in our July calendar. Last 4th of July, we had Fei Chua, our guest today, that he was doing the 4th of July national anthem. Today we have him as how music has changed my life. And on the 14th with Tammy Lyon, on the 23rd, we'll be having Lian New, is how to thrive in the midst of a storm. It was our webinar in May that we were learning how to get balance and be more mindful. But we have a webinar upcoming, so pin that in your calendar too. It will be Happy Relationships also with Lian Yu. And all the Fridays, we have a date with Global Film Viewing every Friday at 8 o'clock. So thank you all of you for being with us at Meaningful Conversations at NAMBA Seattle. Conversations where we can discover and know more about people and topics that can make us better human beings. So follow us in our channels and nambaseattle.org so you can tune in and not miss any event that we have. Back to you, Sylvia.
Thank you so much, Faye, for an awesome talk and everyone's participation. Hi, Kendall. Hi, Faye. Hi, Lynette. And hi, everyone out there. Thank you for attending. And please stay connected because like you just see, our calendar is packed with event programs. And don't forget, every Friday, 8 o'clock, it's our global film viewing. So every Friday, 8 o'clock, we'll be showing and sharing on Facebook Live. So stay tuned and stay connected and stay safe. Bye.